Hello and welcome to this edition of You and the Law. On You and the Law, we add law to the news. My name is Community. I'm a legal practitioner, and I'm always glad to be your host on this show. James Ibori of Delta State means different things to different people. For some persons, James Ibori is their political godfather. For instance, the former governor of Delta State, Emmanuel Uduaghan, served in the administration of James Ibori and eventually became the governor of that state. The current governor of Delta State, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, served in that administration and eventually became a senator and became the governor of that state. For these two gentlemen and many others, James Ibori means something very significant in their political trajectory. Now, for the federal government of Nigeria and for the government of the United Kingdom, James Ibori means something very different to them. James Ibori for the federal government and the United Kingdom means someone who was arrested in the United Kingdom and monies were, traced to his account, and the monies have been repatriated to Nigeria and so on. In this week's edition of the program, we are discussing the legality of the federal government's decision to use the funds recovered from James Ibori and members of his family for the development of projects in, various parts of the country. How legal? If the money has been refunded, if the money has been repatriated from the United Kingdom, should it be spent by the federal government? Or should it be transferred to the government of Delta State? Between the federal government and Delta State, who is the rightful authority? Who is the appropriate government to take benefit of this money? Now, before we proceed on the show, let's listen to the Federal Attorney General, who gave justification for the decision of the federal government of Nigeria to use the monies recovered from James Ibori and members of his family for the development of projects in some part of the country. Let's listen to the Federal Attorney General.
So let's get to the conversation of tonight. Nigeria now has the possession of the £4.2 million Ibori loot from the United Kingdom. The Attorney General of the Federation and Ministry of Justice, Abubakar Malami, confirmed that the federal government of Nigeria has received the loot associated with the family members of the former Delta State Governor James Ibori. The minister says that the amount has been credited into the designated federal government account with Naira equivalent value of the amount as of 10th of May 2021. Tonight, we have the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Abubakar Malami, to talk more about this. He joins us here in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for coming tonight.
Thank you, Sheil.
I must say congratulations on the final receipt of that tranche. It's 100 million that you expected. So you've gotten something less than 10% now. That's 4.2 million in total. Now that you have the money, you had stated earlier that the monies will go into for 3 federal projects. Is that still the plan?
Well, certainly is a plan. And it is a plan against the background of the international commitment that has been given by Nigeria to United Kingdom as it relates to the process of engagement, process of negotiation, inbuilt transparency and accountability associated with the process. The way international diplomatic processes operate with particular regard to the recovery of looted assets is more or less about engagement among the nations of interest. In these circumstances, Nigeria and UK. So how does it operate? It is a process that does not allow for the hook, line, and sinker operation, application, and enforcement of Nigerian law exclusively, but it's a process that factor mutual consideration among the parties of interest. And that mutual engagement, that mutual negotiation gave rise to what we had as an agreement signed by the two parties, the Nigeria and UK. And embedded in the agreement is an understanding of factors relating to transparency and accountability, on account of which Nigeria and UK came to terms relating to the application of the funds recovered, which understanding is that an understanding that key projects existing in the nation, Abuja-Kano Highway, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and Second Niger Bridge should be considered for the purpose of deployment of these resources with a view to ensure that key infrastructural development projects that affect the entire nation be the utmost the beneficiaries of these funds. And within the context of the understanding reached, against the background of the agreement signed, I do not see Nigerian state deviating or perhaps in any way operating in breach as far as that understanding is concerned.
So it's cast in stone?
It's certainly cast in stone as far as the limited recovery that has already been made.
Okay, so you heard it there from the Federal Attorney General. He has given his reason, the principle of which is that there is an agreement between Nigeria and the government of the United Kingdom that this money be used for the development of projects, federal projects in these and that places. And this has created serious talking points in the country. Is it proper for the government of the United Kingdom to decide for Nigeria? Is Nigeria no more an independent country? If Nigeria is going into an agreement, a treaty, a pact with the government of another country, shouldn't it be done in accordance with the Constitution? By the way, what does the Constitution say as regards a treaty entered into between Nigeria and a foreign country? What does the Constitution of the Federal Republic say before that treaty can be made applicable in Nigeria? I think it is important I read directly from that section of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in this case, section 12, sub 1. Let me read. That section says, no treaty between the Federation of Nigeria and any other country shall have the force of law except to the extent to which any such treaty has been enacted into law by the National Assembly of Nigeria. So, that section of the Constitution is clear enough. It means that before any agreement can be implemented in Nigeria, it has to be domesticated in Nigeria. Any agreement with a foreign country entered into between Nigeria and that foreign country, before it can have the effect, the force of law, that agreement, that treaty, that pact or whatever must be domesticated in Nigeria. That is, it must be deliberated upon and passed into law by the National Assembly of Nigeria. Anything outside that, that agreement is just a gentleman's agreement and does not have any force of law. So back to the Ibori issue. The Federal Attorney General is saying that the major reason why the Ibori money is to be used in funding federal projects is because there is an agreement between Nigeria and the government of the United Kingdom on how the funds are to be expended. The question is, has this agreement been domesticated in Nigeria by the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Has it been made part and parcel of the laws of the Federation of Nigeria? If the answer is yes, good and fine. The money can be used for the development of projects in any part of the country. But if the answer is no, to the extent that that agreement between the government of the United Kingdom and the government of Nigeria has not been deliberated upon by the National Assembly and passed into law in accordance with section 12 sub 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then the money that has been repatriated from the United Kingdom cannot be used by the federal government of Nigeria for the funding of any federal projects. The money that has been repatriated from the United Kingdom has to be refunded to the government of Delta States. Now, very recently also, the Accountant General of the Federation, while appearing before the House of Representatives, did say that the money has been refunded to Delta States. Less than 24 hours after his statement, there was also a statement from the government of Delta State saying that the money has not been refunded. Back and forth movement on this money. The proper thing to be done to save the image of Nigeria in the face of the international community and to also do things in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is to refund that money to the government of Delta State. But the money can be used in development, in developing other parts of the country if that treaty can be domesticated by the National Assembly of Nigeria. But until that is done, that money belongs to Delta State. I think that this issue of whether the money should be refunded to Delta State or not is an issue of law and common sense. Why am I saying so? Something is stolen from Mr. A, and the police are invited to recover the stolen item from the person or from the criminal that stole whatever was stolen. Fortunately, the police have been able to recover this item. Who should such item be returned to? Should it be returned to Mr. C, who had nothing whatsoever to do with that item, who has no ownership whatsoever of that item? I don't think so. I think it should be returned by the police to Mr. A, because that property was stolen from Mr. A and not from Mr. C. That is the only way justice, fairness, and equity can be done to this matter. In essence, in law, in justice, in equity, in fairness, in good conscience, the money that was taken from the coffers of Delta State of Nigeria should be returned to Delta State of Nigeria. The money having been recovered from where it was taken to. That is the only way justice can be done in this matter. Thank you very much for watching this episode of the show. I encourage you to always watch other episodes of the show. Subscribe to You and the Law so that whenever we send any episode to the internet, you can be notified to watch and learn as much as you can from the basic principles of law in Nigeria, in Africa, and across the globe. Thank you once again for watching. Do remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking the red button just in front of by your screen. Thank you very much once again. I remain a Kemenudim. Thank you and remain blessed.